Tell me about your book.
Okay, well, this right here, these two books right here is a rough copy of the book, and as I said, when I prayed, asked the universe, God, my ancestors to bless me with knowledge, give me the strength of how to heal myself and how to control my mind, and why was I blessed with these talents? I had to learn. I had quite a few talents, but I had to learn what to do with them or why did I have them. I wanted to find out what was my purpose in life. How you doing? My name is Alexander Eric Mobley III. Right now, I'm going to get into the theory of balance, the book I'm writing, currently working on. That's going to be released next December. And so I put like about 10 hours a week into it. And what it is basically is to start off, I'm a humble person, and I have a lot of experience in my life that I've been through. To name off some, while I was in the military, I had lupus, and at 17, I got diagnosed with it. And in a year and what to read, 3 years later, when I was 20, I was hospitalized for a whole year, and they gave me 5 to 7 years to live. And so the theory of balance is the book is about all these experiences that I've been through, and how I try to adapt and better myself to improve myself through the years. I've been I was in NA meetings, AA meetings. I was diagnosed with bipolar, PTSD, um, verse childhood effects. Um, through just going through the dramas that I went through in New York. Growing up in the crack era, which everybody across the country probably had similar stories if you grew up in an urban area and things like that. So it's just my story, how that came. And when I was 35, I think it was 35, 33, is when it came to like a big car crash, kind of like my life just came to a car crash where the two cars were totaled. But that would be the best way to describe how my life was impacted at that time. And I was diagnosed with bipolar. So basically, all the dramas in my life basically collapsed in on my life and like stopped it right there. So at that point is when I decided to, I surrendered my life to God, prayed on it, and tried to ask God to give me a sign or tell me what to do with my talents, my gifts, and how to control my mind. And I had a vision about a year later, and that's where this book, The Theory of Balance, came from. And so, this is a book not about me. It's about my life story to inspire anybody who's going through any adversity in life, any drama in life, and who has been through, which many kids do still, and many adults have experienced things in their childhood that they never even got therapy to. I can't even tell you how many friends I have that experienced things in their childhood that they haven't went to therapy for or dove into deeply and tried to resolve those issues. And these issues are still affecting them to this day. So the first issue, the first thing I experienced, and actually this was the first miracle I ever seen with my two eyes, was when my mother was shot twice by a man who tried to rape her in North Carolina. And what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna give my mother a call. I'm gonna talk to her about that experience and get her side of what she's seen. And this is just one instance that I went through. I've been on the streets. I had many different lifestyles. Like behind me, you see the rap group Unorthodox Taxes, the history of that. This is a group that I formed, and I formed it in every city that I lived in across the United States through my career. And it's over 50 members. So, all the things I've been through with these guys and just through life is the book is the book is called actually The Theory of Balance, How to Improve the Quality of Your Life Mentally, Physically, Financially, Spiritually, and Emotionally.
And Alex, not to interrupt you, but could you just repeat the name of the group?
The name of the group is Unorthodox Tactics.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to get clarification. If anybody wants to research and look that up.
Yes. It's on my page on Facebook. You go to my page, Alex Mobley, 3 capital I, third, and they're on it. It's a page called My Life Between the Lines, and that shows all the shows we did. The Whammo Talent Contest, opening it up for Beyonce. I mean, not Beyonce specifically, but Destiny's Child at Station Square. I think that was 2005, and a bunch of other stuff.
That was Beyonce.
And all the members. Yes,
that was Beyonce. But I appreciate you for sharing your story, and it is encouraging. So I thought that it takes a lot of courage to be able to keep going forward and to be able to open up and talk about these things. So that's what inspired me, and I thought that what an opportunity to sit and talk with you.
Yes.
And share with the people. So before you get into your phone call with your mom.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was interesting meeting Chaz, because I followed Chaz Burke on Facebook for almost 10 to 12 years.
That's crazy.
I seen them everywhere networking and working with different people, doing interviews or doing shows or opening up shows and all kind of stuff, doing this comedy and things like that. And I actually got to meet him in person. It was amazing. And it was something that I seen, the hand of the universe. Some people believe God, the creator, the universe, energy, but whatever, you prescribe to, I think we met at the perfect time in the seat that our life has crossed at that perfect time. So right now I'm going to give my mom a call, since she was the first miracle I ever seen. And the first time when I seen like somebody actually die and come back from death. So I'm going to just give her a call real quick. And I'm grateful and humble for this opportunity. And the main thing I want people to know is that, this is not for me. I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting. There's no ego in it. This is so other people, if they're going through the same or similar things that I went through, can still have hope. This is about hope, about improvement, and about, standing tall in the middle of any adversity and fighting. Hello? Hey, how you doing, Ma? Let me introduce you to Chaz Burke. Chaz Burke, this is my mother.
Hello, Mom. Good afternoon. Peace and blessings to you.
Can you tell a little bit about what you do this quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So
right, Mom.
It's a pleasure to meet you. So for currently, I'm a transportation specialist at the VA, but my hobby is entertainment. And what I like to do is every opportunity that I get a chance, I like to share my story with other people at network so that people can share their testimony to the public. So I'm really enjoying this journey, sharing my life and time with other people in the universe who may or may not have the same kind of story, but there's something that needs to be said that everybody needs to hear. So I'm just so grateful to be able to do that.
All right, Ma. So I was telling them basically about the book, The Theory of Balance. And I was telling them about the first, major thing in my life that I've been through when I was 11, when you have got shot. I told them what happened about you being shot in the hand and the face, and a man trying to attack you and everything like that. But I want them to hear the story from in your words, because you're the first miracle. Like a lot of people, they might have faith or believe, but I know that there's a creator. I know there's a God, because I've seen with my own eyes many miracles, but I seen that was the first one I ever seen. And I'm telling them about like the impact also that had on my life and other kids who may experience like dramatic events in their life and things like that. So I want you to so go ahead, Ma. Tell them what happened when you was that day.
I was going for a job. I'm going to start at the beginning. Me and my family, we had decided that we wanted to move back down to North Carolina with my grandmother and my aunts and so me and my husband, because we were young, we figured he'll stay there and keep his job and keep working, and I'll come down here and look for a job. And I was staying with my grandmother. Then I went and stayed with my aunt for a while, and I went looking for a job. And as I was looking for the job, I had came back home from filling out application. I was walking home, and somebody just started beating me up and trying to drag me. I didn't know he was trying to drag me to his car, but he was trying to drag me somewhere. And we were, scuffing together and stuff. And then as we were fighting, he shot me one time. He went to shoot me in the face, but I pushed it that time, and it shot me in the hand. And then we fell to the ground. We still was tussling, and he told me to stop and stuff, and I wouldn't. I kept fighting, and he went to shoot me again, and he put the gun. They went to put it to my head, and he shot me in the face. And when he shot me in the face, and I went to get back up again, but I could hear the gun clicking, and as I heard the gun clicking and somebody yelling for help, I found out it was a soldier with no legs in the wheelchair down the block for everything. He was yelling for somebody to help me.
And this is right down the block that we live from, right, Mom? This is right down the block from where you lived at.
This was I'm in Aunt Mary house.
Okay.
At first when I first went down. We were staying with Grandma for a while.
Yes. That was on that block. Okay.
Yeah, on Mary block, and I was went to get back up, but it was an angel over me, and he put like as you took your hand and lift it down, he lifted his hand down, and I couldn't lift back up, but I could hear the man clicking the gun to shoot me again, and the gun wouldn't go off, and as the gun wouldn't go off, I heard people yelling. I could hear people yelling and stuff. He was trying to shoot me again. He said, I'm gonna kill you. And he kept trying to shoot me, but the gun would not go off. So some ladies started yelling and stuff, and he took off running, and then I heard the ambulance come, and they started working on me and stuff. And the lady on the ambulance, she was working on me. She said the side of my face was off. It was just a little piece of skin over the side of my face.
My God.
And she took the my face and put it inside, because all that was off inside my mouth, and told me don't let nobody take that out, because I'm gonna need that to put my face back together. And she wrapped it, and she said when she get in the ambulance, she'll try to clean it as much as she could and stuff.
All right, now pause right there for a minute, Ma. Now, the reason I wanted to get your view on this, because this is your story, your perspective, but I'm gonna also give mine from how I came to know what happened. So I'm in school in North Carolina. They pulled me out of school, and they say something happened with your parents, and they take me to where I was staying at, and there was a white chalk line, and blood was all over the chalk line, all over the sidewalk and everything. So my family takes me up to the hospital, and I guess that my mother already been here for a while, whatever, getting worked on. So when I get to the hospital, the doctor comes in the room, and he asks me, he said, your mother, no, he comes in the room, the doctor has tears coming down. He's not crying or sobbing, but tears are coming down his eyes. He said, son, we tried everything we could do for your mother. There's no more we can do. Like my whole team and everything, we did our best, and we tried. Now, mind you, I'm 11 years old. This is my mother, who I love above anything else. And living in the world, I got great, excellent parents. So my mother and father did an excellent job of raising me up in my household, showing us love and things like that. But at this point is when I knew that there's another world that exists, another world outside the nice, comfy bubble of love that I was living in with my family. There's another world. There's an evil world out here. There's a sinful world. And there's people that are going through unspeakable horrors and have, things happen in their life that are dramatic events. A lot of people don't like to talk about that part of the world, but it exists, and you can't ignore it. And there's a lot of people who are suffering out here who experience these events, or things happen to them, and nobody even talks about it or things like that. So when I went to this hospital, and I'm looking at this doctor, and he's telling me my mom he says she's definitely going to die. That's what basically he told me. He said, go in. So when I went in the room, my mother, I was raised in the church and things like that, but at that age, what I remember most, my mother said, if you're in trouble, call on the name of Jesus. And so I went in that room, and I saw my mother. I didn't even recognize who my mother was. Her face was the size of a volleyball, basically. So blood, it was like lines of blood going all through her face. And I looked at it, and I started crying and weeping, and I just started calling on the name of Jesus. Now, when I went into the hallway later, I saw them wheel my mother out of that room. And I think later on it was a cousin of mine who came up, was making a big fuss. I remember my father there, my uncle Walter, my godfather, Uncle Randy, and she was making a fuss to see my mother. I didn't know her background or what she knew or what her profession was, but they made it downstairs to see my mother. Now, I'm going to let you come back in, Ma, and tell them what happened at that time. You know, of what happened. Because from what I knew, later on I found out that my mother had died. That technically she was dead, and they wheeled her to the morgue in the hospital. So go ahead, Ma. You take it from there. You tell them what happened at that time.
Yeah, they had put me in the hospital and worked on me and stuff, but I guess they thought there was nothing they could do for me, so they took and put me in the morgue. Because they had when I was in there too, they had a bad bus crash, and there was so many people in there. So they worked on me and stuff, but for some reason I got put in the morgue with the ones that had died in the bus crash, and they had put me in the morgue with them, and I was in there for a long time till my cousin and y'all came and got me. So that's what I was told too, because I don't know, I only could hear, because I was just laying there with a sheet over me.
So what I was told is that go ahead, Mom. Go ahead.
I was so cold, I was just praying, God let me make it through it, because I couldn't tell him anything or talk to him, because I couldn't say nothing. I was just laying there. But I could hear, but I couldn't even see. Because I couldn't even see for a while. I was blind from being shot in the face. I couldn't see for a long time. But I just laid in there until somebody came. I could hear the noise and stuff, and I could hear my niece, because she took up nursing. And when they had me in there and said, I'm gone, there's no hope and stuff. And she was just praying and stuff. And she took a mirror out for some reason. She had it in her pocketbook and put it under my nose. And she saw air on her mirror, she said. And she began to yell and holler for them to get me out of here, or she's going to sue the hospital and stuff. I'm still alive, she said. She said, I'm still alive. Why you have my niece and my aunt in this area here?
Okay, so that's when they brought you out of the morgue then. Because when I was upstairs, I saw them wheeling you past, and it was like airlifting you somewhere to another hospital.
They was rushing me to another hospital. I went to 3 hospitals.
And that day?
Because I don't know what happened.
Yes.
They say I was in a coma all that time. But I could hear. Because I was telling them what I heard, and they said, yeah, that really happened.
So can you tell us what happened from the time you remember, Pat? You remember dying and coming back? Can you tell us what happened in between that time?
That was in the last hospital. The second hospital I went to, they put me in the ambulance and rushed me to another hospital. But when I got into that hospital, I was getting blood poisoning. And thank God, God had an angel there. She rushed me in and gave me blood fusion and stuff. And they were fussing at her and stuff, telling her she shouldn't have did that and stuff, because I'm not going to make it, I'm dying. She shouldn't have gave me the blood fusion. She said, Lord, is she living? I'm giving her a blood fusion. She's still alive and stuff. And she fight, and they wanted to fire her. And she fired from me. She gave me that blood fusion and stuff. And she said, I don't care if y'all do fire me. She's living. She's breathing. As long as she's breathing, I'm going to try to do all I can for her. And she said, I know we can't do nothing for her, because her situation is out of our hands. So they sent me to another hospital. They said trauma center or something they sent me to.
So this is the third hospital.
And when they sent me there and the doctor checked me out, he said there was nothing he could do for me. He said it was so bad. And this young doctor begged him, let me do it. She made it from 2 hospitals. This is the third hospital. He said, let me work on you. I was only 28 years old.
Yes, when this happened. How old was Dad? 30?
I was young, 30, right? Yeah, Eric was 30 and I was 28.
In the middle of relocating to a new place, to get us out of New York City, out of the ghetto, and that kind of lifestyle, all the violence going on in New York. You're trying to get away from that, and this is what happens when you get there. So go ahead, continue, Mom. You're at the third hospital.
And we as they was so she tried it for me. She gave me the blood fusion, and they rushed me to another hospital.
Mm-hmm.
As it was taking me into this hospital, I flatlined.
Mm.
They had me going to the door. As they got me almost to the door, I flatlined. And they was working on me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear them working on me and stuff, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
As they working on me, and it is my spirit. I can feel my spirit leaving my body, and it left to my feet.
Yes.
When it left to my feet, I can hear, oh God, calling on God for me, asking God to spare my life. Don't take me, right now. Let me live for Him. Let me be a living witness for Him. Let me serve Him. Let me tell others of His goodness and His mercy. I can hear people, praying for me at my church. And I told Brenda, everybody that was at the church and everything, Brenda said they were doing that.
Mm-hmm. At the time you seen it.
Yes, at the time I seen them, Brenda said they was praying for me. And they were there, the people I told her that was there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't tell me, I told her when I got better.
Amen.
It was a while before I got better, and I told her about, I could see them praying for me. And then I saw this light, this real light, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this light was so strong that I barely could look at it. It's like, it was so powerful, this light.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the light look down, and it was looking down at them calling on the name of Jesus. And as they called on the name of Jesus, this light reached down, and as it reached down, my life came back into my body, and it was so powerful that it lifted me up off the gurney they had, the stretcher they had.
Yes.
And I fell back down, because they were putting their equipment up. They was putting their equipment back in the bag and stuff. And somebody was holding Eric back, because he was trying to get to me and stuff, and he was upset.
Yes.
And they were putting their stuff up, and they had took the sheet put over me. But I looked up, and when I fell down back onto the thing, they said, well, what is that? What is that? And they ran to check me. They said, she's not supposed to be alive. We done said she was dead. And they rushed, and he said, forget it, just rush her in the plate. And they rushed me in the plate. And when they rushed me in there was a doctor waiting for me. He checked me out, but he said there was nothing he could do.
Mm-hmm.
God had an angel. There was a healing man. He said she made it this far. Every time Satan tried to kill me, God sent someone to be there who was waiting right for me, Eric.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
She's not going nowhere. And he said, if God brought her that far, he'll bring her the rest of the way. This is a doctor saying that. A young doctor, Eric.
Yes.
A young doctor, was an older doctor teaching, a young doctor. I think he was no more than about 30.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, God brought her this far. He said, I'm going to do whatever I can do. And I'm sure he'll take her the rest of the way. And he's the one that worked on me until we left and came back to New York. He did my nose, my mouth, my eye, everything.
So he took care of you from that point on.
Did my face. You would never know I've been shot.
Yeah. Yes. It's like anybody see my mom today, nobody would even know. The bullet is still in my mother's brain. It's still right in the middle of my mother's brain. So today she has a speech. And my mother, how many surgeries you had, Mom, in your life? My mom was bedridden for almost 10 years.
Oh, I had so many surgeries.
20 something or?
Yes, I would say about that. I stopped at 20.
Stop counting at 20.
Yeah, I stopped at 20.
I just have to say.
Hold on, Ma. You want to say something? Go ahead, Chad.
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your testimony, and I sincerely mean I've never heard anything so powerful in my life before, and that was truly amazing. It really is, and I am speechless. So thank you for sharing that. That is powerful.
And this is one of the reasons why I created the Body of Believers Ministry, which I'm going to launch on YouTube and everything. So people around the world, believers of all kinds, shape, anybody who's ever been through anything in their life or has an inspirational story can share it with other people so it can be known. Because testimony is a powerful, powerful thing for people to install hope in people, to know that miracles still happen, that things you can still be healed, and there's hope in the world. You can still keep fighting because people have survived through these horrible events. You know what I'm saying? I thank you, Mom.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Mom. I'm gonna let you go now, but I really appreciate you sharing that with me, and I love you, Mom.
I am, and you tell him God is still doing great things in my life.
I definitely.
I can
That's
tell.
right.
I can
That's
tell.
right.
Amen.
We're going through a lot of stuff right now.
I know that's right.
Yeah. The next time I talk, I call and talk about it. I want to get it from Dad's perspective. I'm gonna talk about my perspective of it right now after we get on the phone with you. But I want to know my father's perspective because that's a powerful testimony also. You know, and I love you, Dad. I'll talk to you later. All right, Ma. I love you. Okay. Bye bye. That was awesome.
Yes, sir. Man.
And I heard it so long ago, like a lot of stuff just refreshed my memory, you know.
Yeah.
I
mean, I really, that, you know, I've never, ever.
Yeah, because a lot of times families don't want to talk about things like this. Yeah. They don't want to discuss that kind of thing.
I can understand why, man. I can seriously understand why. But your mom has a lot of courage to just keep going forward, you know, and that's obvious. You pass that on to you. So and that's just a
thank you. Yeah.
Really good spirit that's flowing through your family. You know, all the way down to this young man right here.
Yes. Say hi, buddy. I knew you would say hi.
He's watching. So I got the monitor back here. So
come over here and say hi. Don't step into the equipment. Go ahead. Just come say hi real quick.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine.
Say hi.
There you go.
Okay, he's right in the camera. All right, yeah.
So I had a monitor on back here. He was looking at
okay.
Yeah, he's looking at his dad on the screen, basically. So I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that event that happened to my mother catapulted a chain of events throughout my whole life. So, and this is the reason why I started the Body of Believers Ministry, the Youth Explosion Network, working with kids. When a kid is born, he's born a clear glass of water. And this is my philosophy, my thoughts, and my opinion, my humble opinion on it. But when a kid is born, he's born a clear glass of water into this world. And that event that happened, a first childhood event, is like somebody taking a fountain pen and putting ink into that water. Now, my parents, my mother and father, had done the best they could in that situation with the best of their capability and their knowledge. But that event impacted me so much because I couldn't understand. Number one, I was extremely angry from that point on because I couldn't understand how God would let something like this happen to my mother who volunteered, who fed the homeless, who volunteered at the church, ushered up. She was doing all these things in the church and outside in the community, like an activist helping people, homeless shelters, volunteering, heads all over the place. I couldn't understand how this could happen. How can God allow this terrible, horrible thing to happen? And so my mind couldn't adjust to that, couldn't walk around that fact, you know, and that it was these type of people living in a world that would do such an evil thing to somebody. And so that just like kind of like crushed me right there. So I went to school, I started getting in fights, you know, I started having anger problems. Any kid that would, because the man never was caught, let me state that. The perpetrator in this crime never was brought to justice.